is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with another quick video. We gonna talk about the Orlando Magic and their ability to be a playoff team for back-to-back seasons, but they still not a great contender yet. They're not at that position where they're going in the right direction. They're stagnant, they're stuck, and they're trying to get over this level and get to the level of being one of the elite teams in the Eastern Conference. And it's possible. When I look at the Orlando Magic, they lost Jonathan Isaac with an injury, which really hurted their defense and really hurted them in general. When you have a team that's relied on like they are, that they players have to stay healthy because they're not the deepest team, those little minor nagging injuries hurt a lot, especially when you don't have that much going for you in general. So when I look at this team, I feel like that was a big hit to their defense. That was a big hit to their identity and their scheme. There are 30 and 35 teams, so their record wasn't that great. They probably might not even have won 40 games, and if they do, it'd be barely over 40. When you look at this team, they have a mixture of rookies. They have a mixture of young talent and a mixture of veterans like the James Ennises and the Vuccis and even Evan Fournier. Aaron Gordon has been a guy that I wanted to touch on. He's 24 years old. A lot of people forget how young Aaron Gordon is just because he's been in the league for so long. A legitimate 6'8", 235-pounder. Has a lot of versatility in his game, but he has been a part of a lot of trade talks just because of the growth of Isaac and other guys on his team that can play that same type of role that he has. And the fact that he never became a great, consistent outside shooter, that versatility is dimmed a little bit just because he don't space the floor the way that they hoped that he would have. And he has shown signs that he could, but he never could really get it going consistently. You look at Markelle Fultz, you guys know I'm a fan of his, but people forget that he's only 21 years old and he's a legitimate 6'9", 6'3", 209 pounds. But he's a guy that's getting his confidence back, getting his swagger back. He's starting to hit this pull-up mid-range jumper. He's still probing around trying to find the right shot for the team. He knows how to play off the ball. He's taking a little bit more threes. So he's not the Markelle Fultz that we thought he would be. He may never be the Markelle Fultz that we thought he would be, but at least he's showing that he can be a legitimate contributor. He can be a legitimate starter, and now he's starting to get his game back. And I think having this break and having this time off with the COVID-19, he can get a little bit of his confidence back just because he can rest that shoulder. He's already building up good. I feel like he started playing better the last month of the season, and he started playing like that old Fultz when it comes to that mid-range and in-between game. Now we just have to see him get that three-point shooting back and that spacing ability and just get that jump shot a little bit more consistent and continue to build upon that as he's almost a free agent and he's going to be negotiating that new contract, and they want to make sure that they're investing in him. But at the same time, he still does have that upside because I'm seeing it in him. It just, he has to get it out, and he has to go out there and hoop and play the way he knows how to play, but also get his confidence fully back, get his health all the way back. And I think this offseason, I think this last month can help him get healthy and get his mind right And he might as well, because he's going to be playing in his first playoff game and first playoff series, and we're going to see what he's really made of then. And that can be something he can build upon and grow from going into next season. You look at Terrence Ross; he's a huge piece of this team. He's 29, legitimate 6'6". I like his 3-point shooting. I like his ability to have that to knock down difficult shots, get running, make sure people pay attention to him. He's a threat that can go for 20 plus points any night, and they need that type of spark plug. And they're not. I don't really think Terrence Ross is overpaid. 12.5 million is not overpaid for a guy that does what Terrence Ross does each and every night. He wins them a lot of games. He helps them close a lot of games, and he's a valuable piece to this team. And they need offense. He's not the greatest defender. He's not the greatest player, but what he brings to the table is something that they don't have, which is outside shooting and the ability to hit those degree of difficulty shots. And he's a guy that can get the momentum going because he hits big shots. He can get hot, and the crowd start going crazy. They want him to do more, and he's a guy that has been able to deliver on that end every single time that I have seen him. And I think that he's a great piece. You look at Vucci, he's also 29, 6'11", 260 pounds, the hub of the team, can post up, can knock down the mid-range, can knock down the three, can set great screens, and give guys a first step on their opponent, give guys advantage because of his brutal size and his brutal strength. He's a guy that, even though he made the All-Star team, he's still an underrated guy because he understands his game. He knows how to play his role, and he's not scared to step up even in the playoffs. And I like that about Vucevic. It's good that he stayed with the team. He took a little bit of a pay cut. He was able to show his loyalty, and he did technically help them get back to the playoffs, something that people thought they'd never do, but they did last season, and they have a great chance. And if the season is over, they have officially made it to the playoffs twice. The only problem with this team is that they're not great. They're not a great team. They're not close to being an elite team, but they do have a mixture of players that fit together, that play well together, that understands their role and understands what they're on the court for. And that's always something that's valuable as a team and as a GM. The problem with this team is, like I said in the beginning, is getting them over the hump because they had picks like Mo Bamba that didn't really pan out. He's not done yet. I'm not trying to put pressure on him or put hype or diss him. He's far away from what we thought he would be, but he's also a guy that was in the draft that we knew was going to take him multiple years to get that body right, to get that touch going, and to get his confidence going in the NBA level. He hasn't been that rim protector. He hasn't been that rebounder. He has become a better floor spacer than I thought he would, as young as he is, and in this point of his career that he's at right now. But I expect Mo Bamba to be a lot better as the season continue to grow. And just look at a team. You got a team with Mo Bamba. You got a team with Jonathan Isaac. Markelle Fultz has been solid at that point guard position. And you look at the fact that this team can be a defensive, disaster for teams to go against in the future, just because they already are a great defensive team as a unit, as a collective, but now they have those great individual defenders that can guard and play multiple positions, but also have that ability to cover so much space and rotate and switch and be confident that no matter what position that they at, those guys can hold their own, and those guys can play one-on-one, which limits the double teams and the traps, which allows them to have an advantage of playing teams straight up and not really giving up too much ground or giving up too much to give the offensive player benefits and things that they can use to pick apart their defense. So I like this team. They're not terrible. They're not horrible. They're just okay. The problem with being okay is sometimes you never get over that hump, and sometimes you just be stuck to the point where you're a 7 to 8 seed, but you're nothing more than that, and you really don't have a legitimate chance of winning a championship. And that's one of the most frustrating places to be, just because that's the whole goal of the playoffs, is to have a chance to win a title. And this team they have a chance because they're in the playoffs, but nobody really looks at them as a threat. And even coming into this season, I did not have this Orlando team making the playoffs. In the Eastern Conference, I had the Detroit Pistons over them in the same type of area. And that team is far away from him because they let go of Jackson. Blake Griffin had an injury-prone season again. But it just goes to show you how hard it is to get over that hump and become a contender. It shows you how hard it is to get to that point when you are a contender, because Orlando has went through so many stages of rebuilding, so many stages of drafting top 5, top 10 players in the draft and not really being able to convert them into stars, into all-stars, to develop them. And they haven't been able to make any big trades that make sense, that got them to the point where they're great. And they're still in that position where they technically rebuilding, but they're still trying to win, but they don't have enough talent and enough great players to become a legitimate scary team in the East. And I don't think this draft will fix that. There's no player in this draft that can fix that, because Orlando is a team that's not picking within the top 10 most likely. So they're not going to get that franchise-changing guy unless they trade up in the draft. But what do they really have on this team outside of the Isaacs and the Mo Bambas and those type of guys that they will have to give up to move up in the draft so they can get a guy with high potential that they can put into this team and really let them develop with this core, and hopefully that they can turn into a superstar. So it don't look like the Orlando Magic will be able to draft another player that they can integrate into this team, and it don't look like they're going to be able to pick up a free agent, because there's no free agent that's going to be available that's interested in going to Orlando or that will go to Orlando this free agency. So I don't really see them signing any guy that can change their franchise. People rumored that they might be trying to pick up DeMar DeRozan. And I think that he can fit in his team. He's a guy that can get you a bucket. He's a guy that can knock down some shots, create for other players, give you another ball handler that can put pressure on the defense and force them into tough situations. And he has become a better playmaker in general and just a better passer. And he understands the game a lot more since he's been in the league, and he brings a lot of experience and playoff potential. And on top of that, he gives them a guy that can take over a game. But is he really worth the money you're going to have to give him? Plus, you'll be committing to a guy that's going into his 30s, and you will lose a little bit of your youth trying to make that move to get him, to make sure you can still be a great team. I don't think DeMar DeRozan is going to turn them into a contender, so that may make sense for them not to pick him up at all. And the only reason why I brought it up, because people thought that he would. You get DeMar DeRozan in free agency, this team still won't be a championship contender, in my personal opinion. Would they be better? Yeah, because you're adding an all-star caliber player to your team. But he's not a superstar franchise-changing guy, and that's something that we all knew, especially when he went to San Antonio. He's good. He's a good player. But he's not going to turn his team into the team to beat in the East. There might not even be a top 4 team in the East with DeMar DeRozan, but they still will be competitive and they will be a better team. But I don't think that they should go in that direction. I think that they need to continue to focus on developing folks, Mo Bamba and Jonathan Isaac, getting the best out of their bodies, getting the best out of them, add some more skills, add some more shooting, add the chemistry that they had built playing with each other for multiple years, and just be patient and just be smart of the team, that the players you try to put into this team, that make sure they fit, make sure you're not just trying to do it quickly, because there's nothing fun about being a 4 seed and below without a legitimate chance of being a championship contender. So just be smart with it. Just take the guy that you have and continue to put pieces around them and let them grow and to develop into a team. See what you have with them 2 to 3 years from now, and continue to find out what pieces that you need to put into this team to get the best out of their talent, while also allowing them to play their game at their highest level, and then they can all play off of each other and be a great team. They're already a great defensive team. They're just becoming a decent offensive team, but they also don't need to rush, because there's no point of being a team in the middle doing nothing and then being stuck because you couldn't get over the hump. So I like what Orlando is doing. I like their last couple of draft picks. I like the fact that they took a gamble on Markelle Fultz, because he is getting back to where he was but he's doing it incrementally, which means he's not doing it fast, but he's starting to show signs that he can get back to that level, and he has another off season to do that, and he's going to be a big part of this team like they think. They're going to have to be patient with him, Isaac and Mo Bamba. And when you look at this point in the draft, they're not going to really be able to get anything, like I said, like a superstar player. But you do have people like the Josh Greens and the RJ Hamptons, or even guys like the Nico Mannions that can give you some shooting, that can give you some type of scoring off that bench for cheap. But you also have guys that can drop in the draft that could potentially be steals, and you have to take that gamble and that chance to pick them up when they become available. So they're in a situation where things look better than they did 3 years ago. But it also don't look like they'll be great or elite no time soon. So if I'm an Orlando fan, be patient, grow with the team, take your time, cheer for them, root for them, even though they don't look great right now. But you just got to have hope that they'll be able to turn it around and fix it in the future. But as of right now, they're better. They're better. They're in the playoff picture for the last 2 years, and this team still has potential to grow internally, but as small pieces from the draft and small pieces in free agency to help this team grow and be better in the future. So this team is all about patience. Let's see what we have. Let's see how they grow and develop, and let's build upon that in the future. That's my idea, and that's my mentality that I have if I'm an Orlando fan right now. And that's what I personally feel that they're going to have to look at it like if they want to keep this thing going and really get the best out of these players in this team in the future. So other than that, if you like this video, I make videos just like this. I also make breakdowns of players, rookies, and legends. I also break down playoff predictions, season preview. I cover the whole season. Not only that, I do cover trade deadline, free agency, and summer league. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough of it. This is a channel for you, as I try to make videos every single day, and I try to switch it up and even give you hot topics throughout the year. So if you love basketball, this is the channel for you. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I do sell merchandise on my Spreadshirt. I do sell merchandise on my Facebook page. And I do make videos every single day. So if you like that and you love basketball, this is the channel for you. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about the Orlando Magic, their future, and if they can ever become a team that gets back to the finals like we seen them do with Shaq and Dwight Howard. They far away from it, but they also got to be patient to get back there, and we'll see if they can do that in the future.